in this sacred space, whether it's here in person or on Zoom or anywhere else. We know that God is in the house. God is within each one of us as us, in our hearts. That's our sacred home, our spiritual home. And as we're here together, we're here to enjoy the message and take it forth. We know that those words that are spoken by Corliss today are the words that are inspired by God, because God works through each one of us. We know that the music that was chosen was things that we need to hear and that will enhance our service. We know that the technicians back there are doing whatever they can to keep our service running smoothly. I bless all of them, knowing that we are all one, and in this unity, we're here at the right time and at the right place, hearing the right words for each one of us. And so it is.
At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you, because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Good morning, everybody. It's so great to see everybody here. My name is Corliss Serber, and I'm one of the practitioners, one of 3 now here, because we have 2 brand new ones who are doing such a great job. And I get to be the message speaker today, just as Yvonne said, Practitioner Yvonne said. And our monthly theme today is a pause for guidance. And the weekly title is Rise and Reemerge. So what I'd like you to do is read what's up there. Do it, and then look at me with a thumbs up when you're done. I see most of you have read it. Don't you want to live a life like that? Say yes if you do. Yes. Well, take a look at this one. May I have the slide? And who has ever felt like this? You know, I always like to start a la Joel Osteen so that I can learn how to do some things that are funny. Okay, or take a look at this one that's up there, if I could have that slide. I stress about stress before there's even stress to stress about. Then I stress about stressing over stress that doesn't need to be stressed about. It's stressful. How does, maybe you've thought about this and maybe you haven't, but how does stress affect your daily life? And if I could have that slide. Okay, if you experience stress, say yes. Yes. Do you believe it is a natural part of your life? Yes. Does stress have a reaction in you, in your body, as well as your mind? Yes. Does it seem like it adds to your challenges and it adds to your demands? Sometimes, okay. And no matter what the source, did you know that stress can affect you in a physical, a mental, emotional, and physical way? because everybody's going to nod their head, right? We're all human. We're all God stuff in human form. And how lucky is that? That's the way I look at it. And you know, there is only one source, only one God, because we didn't know Yvonne was going to be doing the meditation today, and she found the perfect things to use. And guess what? It was the right story, because I had it already in my talk. So I'm going to refer to it, okay? But before I do, I want to tell you that I'm a perfect example of how stress is. I'm a type person that's why I want everything in perfection, right? I've had to learn how to let go of that part of my life quite a bit. Not perfect at it, but I'm certainly better. Because, you know, when I was teaching, it came down to a time I was either going to give up about stress affecting my life so greatly, not because I wasn't good at what I was doing, but it was very stressful where I was teaching. So I had a wonderful husband who said, you know what, maybe you'd just like to go half-time. Well, I did, and it really did help me. I have a teacher retirement now, which I'm very, very grateful for. But you know what? When I was, even back then, because I did that for quite a few years, I knew that when I retired, thanks to teaching part-time, I was going to know how to be a resurger. I wasn't going to be in retirement, no way. And if you all know who I am and know it, I live my life just like that. Because I know I only have today, and I don't want stress to stress me down. I want it to, teach me something like we learned here today, and move out and up and be out there so that we can affect others. And this is where that Yvonne story comes in. There was that rabbi, right? And his name was Susha. And he was on his deathbed. And he was saying, he was crying. He was lamenting. He said, you know, they're going to be so sad with me, so to speak, because he didn't live his life as Susha. He thought he just had to be a Mother Teresa, or he had to be a Martin Luther King. But this is us. Do we need to be each one of those things? Could we be? Great if we are. But can't we be it in our own sphere of influence? Can't we be the best we can be at any moment in time so that we can take that step forward and another one so that we are on the road that not only helps our life be enlivened, but those all around us, and maybe even on beyond that, because that's how life works. Who has thought about that? A few of you. Okay. Well, I want to tell you that Science of Mind for the month of August is inviting each one of us, it says, each one of us to know that we have a personal value, and that we have a personal value not only to ourselves, but to each other. And it's because we're all connected, are we not? And that's where we have to remember. If we're in a stressful situation, you know, I have this fabulous spiritual mastermind group. I've wanted that for years, and now the last 2 years, I have that. So if I get to the point of when that perfectionism is bothering me too much, I have this small sphere of influence of people who are so like-minded. If I even share, and I can be honest about sharing, they don't look down at me, they look up at me for doing it. And then everything gets alleviated quickly, and it moves on to a higher realm. It's just wonderful, that's all I can say. So it says here that we must, Science of Mind says, we must pause for guidance. The reason is we want to rest, rejuvenate, and then prepare for the next leg of our journey. And you know, we take a journey in many different ways: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. It's not just in this one area, but we are one as we are taking it. So we have to take us wherever we go. We don't have a choice. So therefore, why not be the best you can be? Why not do what you can do to be the best you can be, so that you don't get into a stressful situation that keeps you down, instead using the stress like we heard today to keep you moving and rising up. Okay, there's a statement from Science of Mind that says in their mission statement, we see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. And I see we have somebody on the ball already with the next slide. But you know, the question is, who accepts that about yourself? Or who judges somebody else for not being the way you think they should be at any moment in time? And then there's that stress that gets in the way of harmony, ease, and grace. I don't know about you, but I want, and I know that science of mind, living by principles, it is a life worth living when we pay attention to principle and practices. So let me ask you this. On that scale of 0 to 5, and 0 is pretty crummy, 5 is great. Just close your eyes for a second. Where are you on your commitment to a daily spiritual practice? 5 is you're really willing, 0 is you're the pits. Okay, and right now, just ask yourself, where would you like to be? What number would you like to be if you're not on number 5?
5, 6.
Okay, so Home Office has this to say. Self-awareness is the practice that illuminates our alignment with each of the science of mind principles. I don't know about you, I haven't had a lot of background in other religions, to be honest. I didn't grow up with it, but I'm pretty glad I didn't, because I didn't get all those rituals. But here's the thing. I am so glad that I came to Science of Mind, and I didn't just get principles. I got a whole slew of practices that will help me apply those principles. But guess what? I have to do it. So the whole idea is, and I know I get up here, and when it's my turn to speak, I often say be, do, have. But the point is, we have to be a certain way and take action with that beingness so we can have what we want. It's not the other way around. We don't get it without being it. We don't get it without doing something so that we can have it. That's not how the principles work. And there has to come a time when we each accept that. If you agree with that, say, yes, I do. Okay, the other thing that Science of Mind Home Office has said, it is the practice of being conscious. How many people walk around being unconscious? Think about it in your lives, the people you know. It is the practice of being conscious of one's motivations, internal dialogue, like we heard, that negative self-talk. Who doesn't know about negative self-talk, right? Okay. And I think even more important are hidden beliefs. I don't know about you, but there was a time in my life when I thought I was just ugly. And yet people would tell me how pretty I am, or how pretty I was, and how I could do this, and I would do that, and I could sing, and I could dance, and I could do all these things. But somehow I had this hidden belief that I wasn't pretty, I wasn't an artist, I wasn't a dancer, I wasn't a singer. But that wasn't the truth. It was only my hidden belief that allowed me to think. And then, because I thought it, I had the emotion that went with it, and it kept me stuck in that same pattern. Who has had a pattern like that? Yeah. Okay, so I know I'm not unique, but there was a time in my life I wouldn't have told you that. Oh my gosh, no. But now I know that's a good thing, to become aware and to become conscious. And that is being a be, do, have, does it not? Okay. So, Science of Mind also says it is a willingness. It also says self-awareness is a willingness. And how often do I say willingness and acceptance? They're like the left and the right hand work together, and the right hand and the left. A willingness to observe. And not only observe, but take personal responsibility. Who's willing to do that? I only see some heads willing to do that. Okay. But you know what? There's internal choices like I just described, and there's external choices. And the point is, we have to each be in an acceptance space so that we are willing, or we have to be willing so we can be in an acceptance space, and then do something different along the be, do, have way of being and doing and having, so your life is less stressful and more in ease and harmony and grace. I don't know about you, but that's the way I want to live my life. It's really, as it says here, the last point from some Home Office, self-awareness is the foundation for conscious choices. Do you want to make a conscious choice about your life like I did? I thought I was making a conscious choice. Well, I'm not pretty, I'm not this, I'm not that. Look what happened to my life in those times. I didn't live up to my potential. How could I? Or do you want to make a conscious choice to, as they said earlier, think something different so you can be something different, so you can do something different, so you can have what it is you say you truly want? Who wants that? I can't hear you. All right. Now, Ernest Holmes, he has big on this. So if we could have the Ernest Holmes slide. He said this, and it's from How to Change Your Life from page 41. The first step for you to take involves becoming aware that you already have the God qualities you wish to cultivate. Didn't I just share stories about that? And you already have the experience in your everyday life. Didn't I just share about that? You already have what you want. And you know, earlier today when we saw those different videos and the songs, it said gratitude, gratitude, gratitude is the attitude, 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 right? Okay. And those of you who are on my daily list with the blessings, you know that I truly believe in gratitude. And it has changed my life totally around 150%. If we could have the next slide. Okay, I would like to have you take a look at this image. And when you're done looking at it, just give me another thumbs up, a higher one so I can see them. You should read it. I will. And I can get that to you. Okay, so this is a self-care can-be. I don't know about you, I have known a lot of can-bes, including myself, as I just have shared with you, that I had everything within that I could have been this, that, this. But instead, I stayed stuck with my old mental images of myself that weren't even true, okay? So what if you did this also? Are you good at asking for help? How good are you at spending time alone? And how good are you at putting yourself first? Or how good are you at asking for what you need? Or a big one, how good are you at setting those boundaries? And you know, I guess we can all say, how good are you at staying at home? Because we've been through a certain time. But you know, there's a way of being at home, and then there's a way of being at home. And I think you know what I mean. Okay, and how about this one? This is a big one. How good are you at saying no? You know, something came up in my life during this time frame, and I'm getting better at saying no. I know a lot of, maybe this sounds blanket, but it seems to me a lot of women I know have had a hard time saying no. And the thing is, when I learned, if I said no, I have room to say yes, then it got a little bit easier for me. And this just happened just recently. I went to play golf the other day with my golf girls, who are all older than me, but they're somehow golf girls. And we went to lunch, and I haven't been doing very much of that. Went to this restaurant, all the protocols were there, ordered whatever, and I couldn't eat it. And at one, it was too salty, I didn't like what was there and whatever. At one time I just would have accepted that and just gone on. But you know, I stepped into my big girl pants, a real nice server, and I told her, she said, let me go talk to so-and-so. So she did, she came back, what do you want? We'd be happy to make your order so it pleases you. Well, they did, and it was really good. And you know, I could have stayed in my same old, or I could have done something different, and I was glad I did something different. Not just because I did that then, but it gave me a little bit of like confidence building, you know, to do something different that actually, and it worked out. Okay, and then this is a real biggie, right? The next one, how good are you at forgiving yourself? Or taking a step back. You see, all these things You're seeing all this from the outside in. You see the effect. I saw the effect of what I did. You see the effect with what you do. But the point is, as it coming back to the earlier that I mentioned in this talk, we're so blessed here in Science of Mind. We have these principles. We have these strategies that help us imply these principles so that we can be, do, have with self-loving self-care in every way, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Does that make sense? Yes. So the point is that we have to, I go back to that willing. Now that we've accepted, we have to be willing. And we have to be willing to every day take on a commitment of at least one spiritual practice, so that will help us be in a better space so that we can do all these individual things in a space of ease and grace instead of like this, because that doesn't get us as good of a result. Okay? I want to say, I've kind of already said it basically, but I know for me, prior to understanding this level, because in all my training and understanding, and really in my interest in consciousness and my interest in whole brain learning, really, because it's like almost like the same thing, to be honest. I absolutely, have you ever heard that saying, I know that I know that I know? Well, I used to hear that saying, but I didn't know that I know that I know. But today, I do know that I know that I know. I know what I'm talking about when I'm sharing with you today. I'm not just telling you things, something to take up time. I know this is what's worked for me. And I recommend it because I care about you. Let's give it a go. So I know that I know that I know this works because I didn't always feel that I am not alone. I no longer feel alone. I was scared stiff to live alone when Ron passed away some 12 and a half years ago. Some of you know my story. But the thing is, I'm just perfectly happy living in this great big house all by myself, and I have a wonderful life, and I don't have to have something else. If someone else comes in my life or whatever, and it's good, great. But I don't need it, because I know that I know that I know that I'm enough. I cannot tell you how much that means to me. I haven't ever had that in my life until this latter part of my life. So to me, that's a really good thing to do my daily practice. And that comes first and foremost in my daily self-care. And I want to tell you, I am speaking from experience. I am telling you the truth. That is what I do. Okay, can anybody else identify with that? A few people? So if we could have the next slide. Go ahead and read that to yourself. And I'm going to read it out loud for people who don't have the access. You are destined for every ounce of greatness you crave. Your future life is being held in trust for you until you are ready to receive it. Work on yourself. And you know, somebody else told me recently, I don't like the word work, and substituted the word fun. Fun on yourself. And the rest will unfold on its own. I love that. To me, that makes perfect sense. When we're in a space like this, it's so much easier to use our imagination, to be curious, to become even more self-aware. It seems fun and not work, okay? And it's like Reverend Victoria said recently in a talk that she gave here about how, isn't it more fun, my words, isn't it more fun to be childlike even though we're in this adult body? And to see things from that point of view because it's less stressful. It's more fun. It's more at ease. It's more grace-filled. It doesn't have all these pages that we have to, oh yeah, there I am. No, it can be right there. And I want to tell you, and for those of you who know me, you know it's already true, my number one spiritual practice for me, a long time before coming to Science of Mind, has been a daily practice of, well, I started with transcendental meditation, but meditation. That is a key, and that helps you envisioning, as Yvonne was talking about earlier, because we have all these tools, these practices that we can use with these strategies that we can use so that we can get what we want sooner and easier with less stress. But again, I have to come back to that willingness, to that acceptance, and to be understanding that you have to know that you know that you know in that be, do, have way. That's the key. That's the key to living a life worth living. Now, spiritual alignment and self-renewal, there are 3 ways to express them here. Take note. One is spiritual alignment and self-renewal. We have to recognize who we are, just like I was saying. We have to align ourselves with the principles and practices, take the action. And to me, that is being a true, and maybe Reverend Art, you can tell me, that is being a true religious scientist, not just sitting on a Sunday morning, intaking whatever, going home, and then not doing anything with it. Why not use what we are given? We are privileged to be here, to hear what we can do. Just take the time, because believe it or not, I thought, oh my God, 20 minutes a day, or twice a day, I'm gonna meditate. I have a 3-year-old. How's that gonna work? Well, guess what? Somehow when you meditate, you somehow have more time, even though there's no such thing as more time. And I'm here to attest to that fact because I do lots of things in my life and I have time, and I have time for balance because I make that time for balance. And I'm using myself as an example because this is an area of life that I know that I'm good at right now. So, all right. So anyway, the second one is, I think I missed the first one. Let's see what happened to our first one. Oh, we already talked about it. That's our self-awareness one. Okay, so the third one is a very important part to me that I've only really just learned more about in this last year. And it's called spiritual discernment. Has anybody heard that word recently? Discernment. And to me, this might be the most important outcome of a dedication to aligning our principles and practices. Look at this slide. When you make a discernment, in a sense, you're making a judgment, but it's not the kind of judgment that's good, bad, right, wrong. It's an ethical space of being in that be, do, have way of being. So you know that you know you're in this space of being able to envisioning the perfect minister for our center. Because we have the tools that we've been working with and on, and not only as an individual, but if we're lucky, like in our group that we are candidating, our Spiritual Mind candidating group, here's the thing. We get to do it together, and I don't have to tell you 1 + 1 is not 2, right? It's 11. So why not use whatever we can use? Because when we are in an area of spiritual discernment, it means we have done our homework, and we're doing our work, and we are ready to take on what needs to be taken on at a higher level. And I don't know about you, but that's what I want for this center, and that's what I want for my life, and that's what I want for your life. So if we can have a next slide. All of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Brene Brown. And she says, courage is contagious. Rising Strong, which was a great book if you haven't read it. Rising Strong changes not just you, but also the people around you. And that's what I'm talking about and how important that is. So let me ask you a question. Close your eyes and practice taking that deep breath in and let it out. And it's a good practice to ask yourself questions. So ask yourself a question, keeping your eyes closed, taking another deep breath in, and letting it out. What am I willing to do to serve myself and my community? And just sit with that with your eyes closed for just a moment. Are you ready? Are you ready to embark on a continuing journey, embracing the timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision that is our mission statement here in Science of Mind? Say yes if you are.
Yes, I am.
Are you ready to invite yourself to pause for guidance and self-renewal before beginning the next leg of your journey?
Yes.
And thirdly, during this pause, are you ready to take time for a tune-up? Like you enjoy a playful pause, a spark for your imagination, and navigate your way using your inner GPS, so to speak? Are you ready? If you are, then guess what? You get to have a pleasant journey ahead from this very moment on. Because what you get is I get to attitude. I can't tell you how I love this I get to attitude. It makes such a difference in approaching the most tasky things. And I can give you lots of stories about that for me. And you know what? It guarantees that each of us, whether it's individual or collective, that we are rising and we are re-emerging. Look at what Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says. Spiritual awakening is a journey of the heart. Every person's heart is aflame to know its true nature, to commune with its source. And that's from Fulfilling Your Soul's Potential by Michael Bernard Beckwith. So our call for this week is to be a gift to yourself and to be a gift to us and to the world at large, near and far, to be aligned and to be renewed. After this talk and after everything, there are these pages. You don't have to write this down or anything, but I'm going to give you something called RISE. So I recommend that you close your eyes, because when I was teaching, when I closed my eyes, when I have my kids close their eyes, they could see that vision space a little bit above your eyebrows, a little forward from your forehead, and they could envision the word R for rise. And that would help them remember, oh, what does the R mean? But I'm actually going to give you one of these. Actually, Shannon, who's right there waving her hand, she, after our talk here today, she's going to be up here handing these little green sheets out, so you don't have to write anything down. Okay, so taking a deep breath in and releasing, closing your eyes. This is called RISE. So the R is for restore. Restore and nourish your soul by embracing stillness each day. Gift yourself time to unplug, be still, and listen. Now just envision that in your vision space. And take a deep breath in and anchor it and let it go. The I, envision this. The I is for integrate. Integrate principle. Integrate principle in your daily life through spiritual practice beyond theory. Now just envision that. Take a deep breath to anchor it. This is a really good practice for anything. You can do it any time in your life. Release your breath. And the S for rise, take your deep breath in. Let it go. The S is for self-care. And it's through self-care by intentional living and conscious choice. Now envision all that in your space, your vision space. And take your breath to anchor it. And let it go. And the E for rise. Take your breath in. Keep your eyes closed. Clear your breath out. The E stands for expand. Expand and evolve your consciousness through sacred conversations that evoke curiosity. Envision it. Breathe in. Let it go. And I have the affirmation for today. You might as well just keep your eyes closed if you like. Today and every day, I am a gift to myself in self-loving self-care. So we're going to say that together. Today and every day, I am a gift to myself in self-loving self-care. And we can say, and so it is, and we can go right in to prayer. So as we breathe in this breath of life that denotes the truth that God is all there is, we're breathing in now, holding it precious and dear because it is, and letting it go. And understanding that I know that unity is a given. Because if God is all there is, that is all there is, so unity is. And that means unity consciousness is in, through, and as each one of us, individually and collectively. As I often say in prayer, I think this is a great safety net for me. I appreciate it. I love it. I am so pleased that I understand this and know this today. So it's in this high awareness, this deep consciousness, that I get to declare unto that beautiful law that always says yes, yes, yes. I get to declare that all that we have heard today in this entirely beautifully put together, technically beautifully put together, just the time we've all shared together in this beautiful way of hearing what we needed to hear, loving what we needed to hear, learning from it, deciding to take something from it, and move on greatly with more ease and grace in our lives. How lucky are we? I know it goes beyond this moment in time. I know when we leave here today, what we have imparted today and heard today, we get to use in our lives every moment that we lived, an each now moment, because every moment is a now moment, a new now moment. We can forgive. We can let go. We can be the best we can be. We can place wonderfully great good boundaries. We can. So in this beautiful awareness, in this beautiful declaration, I do give these words unto this law that says yes. And you and I can affirm and anchor this by saying, and so it is. And we can have Reverend Liz in the house, so to speak, because I have her Sunday benediction here. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Everybody?
Wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all my affairs. Here's this word. I accept it. I embrace it. For all that it is and all that it is not. All is well. Thank you, life. And we can say namaste. And thank you for letting me share today.
Thank you for joining us for our Sunday service. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video on Facebook, YouTube, and any other social media you are a member of. To donate to CSL Beaumont, thank you for joining us. Text GIVE to 951-420-6909, or you can visit our website at cslbeaumont.org and click the donate button at the top or bottom of the page. You can also mail your donation to CSL Beaumont, 802 Maple Avenue, Beaumont, California, 92223. Have a blessed day and namaste.